Donald Trump is just been called to testify today to the New York State Attorney, or New York State Attorney General, about his real estate dealings in New York. My gosh. This guy, you know, he said it on Saturday at CPAC. Has there ever been a president that has been under attack this much, or a past president? I mean, Nixon left office, it was over. We never heard a peep about it. Clinton leaves office. We never hear a peep about it. And they start the Clinton Foundation, which makes billions. Nothing. Barack Obama leaves office, takes 30 million pages. Nothing. Okay. I said to you yesterday, here's what's really going on. They can't find the radicals, so they need to create them. Okay? That's what the January 6th has been. They have tried to convince America that the right is just completely full of radicals. Well, the problem is 42%, I think the numbers is close to this, 42% of America thought that was true until they televised the hearings. That number went down to 36. Okay? They don't have it. They don't have it because that's not who we are. So they have to create them. Now, I have said since 2009, I watched the pattern. And remember, we were talking about the Tides Foundation. And I said the right should create the Tides Foundation exactly the same way, except be clean. Because the Tides Foundation and the left would go, oh, they're embezzling money. They're funneling money from dark sources over here. And we could go, oh, we're not, but thank you for letting us know what you're doing. Because they always self-diagnose. They always tell you who they are. Fascists, they're all fascists. They're fascist. He's going to crack down. He's going to use the state as a spying mechanism. He's building an army internally, and he's going to go after the American people and shut down voices. Hello? That is exactly what they're doing. So, listen to Fang Fang's boyfriend. Fang Fang's boyfriend yesterday said the Republicans are a party of chaos. He said, it's very clear that Republicans have recognized that they can no longer win elections with votes. Now, is that what you're feeling about the next election? That Republicans don't have a chance of winning at the ballot box? I have no doubt it's going to be a hammering at the ballot box. Now, that doesn't mean we take the House. It just means wherever we can win, I think we're going to win.
Better take the House. I mean,
yeah, I know. I mean the Senate. The Senate.
Yeah, Senate is much
right.
more up in the air.
Correct. And I think we take the House. We may not take the Senate, but still, it's going to be a hammering unless, you know, Zuckerberg boxes are everywhere else. You know what I mean? But I don't think there's a Republican that thinks that if people vote and go out, that Republicans are going to do poorly. So is he self-projecting here? Republicans have recognized they can no longer win elections with votes. So they're leaning in hard to try to win elections with violence. Okay, so that violence that he's talking about is January 6th, and that was what? 100 people? The left is encouraging violence all over America. It's been burning cities down. Okay. And they're fomenting that violence right now. We are? He says we're getting all kinds of threats, blah, blah, blah. So he said chaos is arming to the teeth most Americans with AR-15s now and letting our children live in fear. Chaos is January 6th. Chaos is government-mandated pregnancies.
Mm-hmm, that's what the government's doing. They're mandating pregnancy.
Yeah, we are. You're going to have a baby right now.
Right.
Chaos is leaders of the party arguing we need to defund the FBI. Now, what is the difference between defunding the FBI and defunding the police? I'm going to try.
And everyone I've heard talking about that is talking about changing the structure of the organization and moving many of its responsibilities into other parts of the government.
Yeah, and
not getting rid of all police.
Right, and I say defund. I say we choke this system off until they make changes. Money doesn't talk, it screams. And these huge agencies, the IRS, I say defund the IRS. Now, that doesn't mean we don't need the IRS and I want it to go away. Defund, well, I would. I'd rather have a flat tax. But I'm not calling for chaos. I'm calling for reform. I'm not calling for tear the system down. I want reform. I want what people wanted in 2008, transparency. We've been saying this forever. I want transparency. I don't want any more backroom deals. I don't want bills just shoved through that are omnibus that we don't know what's in them. I want to know who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. I want people to go to jail, and I don't give a flying crap if they're Republican or independent or Democrat. I really don't. I want, you know what? I would be so for Nancy Pelosi's son being tried. And if he's found as guilty and dirty as we think he is, I mean, did you notice he was on the Taiwan trip? Did you know that? She's hiding that. So Nancy Pelosi's son, I would be all for Hunter Biden. I think every American who is decent, who has paid attention at all, knows there's trouble there. I would be for Joe Biden going to jail if it's proven that he was doing dirty deals with his family. But I would also go after Mitch McConnell. And it's not because I think Mitch McConnell is a worthless just piece of bag of bones. I think Mitch McConnell is just as dirty. He's in on it. His family is making all kinds of money from China. No. If Mike Lee was found to do, and Mike would be the first to tell you, I mean this. If Mike Lee, who is a good friend of mine and a guy I really trust and believe, if Mike Lee was found doing dirty things and dirty deals, I would be the first to call for his impeachment and investigation and jail time if he deserved it. That's all I want. I want everybody to have the same consequence. We have 2 layers of justice now. If you're in a high position with the right party, it's fine. That's not America. You cannot run a country. That is a banana republic. That's why, I was watching a show last night and it kept flashing back to Afghanistan and the way the people live in Afghanistan. Afghanistan wasn't always like that. Wasn't always like that. Why are these third world countries like this? Poor, broken up. Sometimes it's no fault of their own. Other times it's clearly because the government or there's so much chaos on the street that you have warlords. People who are calling for, the defunding of the police and everything else, you're going to get warlords. Well, we'd be better off with no government at all. We'd just start all over again. Let's just burn this thing down. You will go into warlords, and America will become Afghanistan. I don't want to burn it down. I want reform. I want transparency. I don't want to go back in time. Conservatives are not about the past. They are about conserving what has worked and jettisoning those things that don't work. That's why the left and the right, liberal and conservative, not progressive, liberal and conservative work so well together. Because liberals tend to go, we ought to try this. This is really good. And conservatives are like, wait, but what will that do? What are the unintended consequences? I don't know. What about this and this and this? You're not jettisoning that to get this, are you? Because these things are good. It's the yin and yang that makes America work. But if we can't do this through elections and reason, then we go to war with each other. And I don't want a war. Do you? The entire thing with Donald Trump right now, I want you to know this, because if you know this, then you know what they are trying to achieve and what they want and need you to do. They could not convince the American people that their neighbors are terrorists. They tried. They've tried. And they've convinced maybe, I think, probably 20%. Okay, that's not enough. You need to get that number over 50%. So 50% of the country thinks the other side of the country is a terrorist. This is why I always try to say, not the regular Democrat, but the leftists, those who are hell-bent on destroying our country. We cannot group everybody into that, because if we group half of the country into revolutionaries and they don't actually fit there, we have no place to go but war. We have no place to go but, I guess, camps. And if you think one side or the other, do you remember the show I did at Fox years ago, if you're a longtime listener or viewer? I did the pendulum show, and I swung a pendulum from left to right. And I said, the Constitution really is in the middle. It's neutral. Okay, sometimes a judge and the Constitution will rule, no, you know what? Sorry, got to have all that freedom. And the conservatives will go, wait, what? That's chaos. Sometimes it'll say, nope, got to go the conservative way. And the liberals will say, wait, you're a fascist. The Constitution is neutral on topics. Its focus is on power, control, and control of the government. And I said, as we swing further and further, these swings are going to get worse and worse. And I said, you put Obama in and you keep pushing people to the wall, you're going to get somebody who is like, oh, really? Really? And that pendulum will swing back just as hard the other way. There's Donald Trump. He is the people on the coasts, they all think Donald Trump is a fascist that's going to put them all in jail. Well, that's what we felt about Obama. He was destroying the country. Same thing now. Well, you do this to Donald Trump, and you're swinging it further the other way. And what did I tell you would happen in the end? That eventually you would have two parties that are completely on the very ends. And it depends which party is in office at the time that things really begin to crumble and there's real chaos. And that party will reach out and grab that pendulum. And then freedom is over. That is the point we're at. And that's why they need the chaos on the streets. They'll create it. But as long as America knows they're creating it, it's their chaos in our schools. It's their chaos that are burning our schools, our cities down. It's their chaos that is getting our policemen killed. It's their chaos that is making the prices of everything go through the roof. It is their climate chaos that is causing us to have fuel problems and energy problems and people either dying from heat or now in the winter, they'll be dying from cold. It's their chaos of the war machine of Afghanistan. As long as people understand that, we're fine. If we confuse it with any kind of chaos on our side, we're playing right into their hands. Because all they need is just to convince a few more people. And they can grab the pendulum